First thing you're gonna have to do before using the boat is putting gas in it. The fastest way we found is to use one of these blue pads, or you can just rest it on your leg. It's easier if you use one of these. And then take the funnel and put the funnel in the hole on the left side back here. And then you want to just rest the gas can up along your leg and then tilt it, and it'll go when you press the green button. And then you can just rest it here while it fuels. Because the first thing you want to do after you put gas in is turn the battery on down here. And we're going to want to flip that down to 1 and 2. And then take the key, put it in, give it a little quarter turn to the right, like this. And that'll turn the battery on and the blower. You want to let that run for 2 to 3 minutes or until it turns itself off. You also might be wondering why there are 2 batteries. You usually run it on 1 and 2. The only reason you'd flip it to either 1 or 2 is if you are, sitting out on the lake for a long time, swimming, listening to music without the engine running, just in case one of the batteries goes out and you have to flip to the other one. Now that the blower's done, we can finish lowering the boat the rest of the way into the water. You want to run the blower while it's still sitting on the lift, not completely loose yet. And once you hear a click, you'll know it's really close to being in the water. There it is. There it is. And now we should be loose. So now we're gonna, you want to have one person here, preferably one person over there if you can. And then you're just gonna push off the white poles and kind of guide out. Make sure that the front part there doesn't hit those metal poles. You can run along these plastic poles fine, it's not the metal. You can also use this paddle here once you've pushed off from the front to get a little deeper before you start the engine, if you'd like. Or if you lose direction at any point. Now we're out in the water. We're about this far from the dock, as you can see. And now you want to just kind of start it like you'd start a car. Turn like that. And then just slowly reverse it into idle right there and back it out. And it backs you can't really steer in reverse, so it'll kind of go whichever way it wants depending on the wind, but it usually goes back to the right. All right, so now if you want to go surfing, you're gonna want to fill the ballasts. So there's 4 tanks. There's bow and center, which are both up here, and then port and starboard, which are in the back underneath those 2 covers. So to fill them, you'll click each of them 1 time so that this first orange light's eliminated, and then you just let them fill until the front starts spitting water out. To save gas, so the boat's not running while you're filling the ballast, you can turn the key back past quarter turn to the left, and that'll keep the ballast filling but not run the engine. Okay, so now these are still on fill here, and we're spitting water out the front, and that means that the front 2 are full. So you can go ahead and give these 2 clicks to turn them off, and we're going to keep the port and starboard filling for the meantime. And then to check on the port and starboard ballast tanks, you just want to open these up. There's no buttons or anything, and then the bags are right in there. There's another one on the other side, and you want to let these fill until they're almost full but not completely, and that'll be about when the swim platform on the back is just underwater. So you want to stop the bags when they're about here. As you can see, the platform's just got water on top of it. And then when you close these, they slam down pretty hard. So you do kind of want to lower them down, or else they will hit very hard. The reason we don't fill the bags all the way full is because it makes it very difficult to see over the nose, and it still makes a really nice wave even without full ballast. Also, the power wedge, we don't ever use it. It makes it really difficult to drive, and it maybe, helps the wave be a little bit bigger, but it's really not worth not being able to maneuver as well. Okay, now that the ballasts are full, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the engine back on. And then to set the surf side, either left or right, you can see it up here. Right now it's on center, which means there's no wedge deployed. And then to set it, you've got these 3 buttons here. So the left one, you give it a click, it'll put it on left. If you click the right, it'll shift over to right. And then the other aspect of this is the cruise control. So you usually want to surf around 11.2, somewhere in that range. So I'm going to set it to there, and then to turn on the cruise control, you press the cruise control on-off button, just like it would look on a car, and you'll see on the screen it says cruise on. Sometimes this control pad right here doesn't want to work. What we found to fix it is just give it a little push down on the sides. We think it might be a loose connection in the back. But yeah, that's what we found works. Just push down here and here, and then just try the buttons again. All right, now I'm gonna drive just like there's a surfer behind me, so make sure that they're ready to go, and then kind of just ease up to speed. And once it gets into cruise control, it'll beep at you. Switch sides left to right while you're driving. You just switch it. It'll beep 3 times. Also, if you switch sides while you're just stopped, it won't switch immediately. So if you switch to the left while you're in neutral from the right, it'll make you get up to speed, and then it'll beep 3 times, and then the wave will form on the correct side. All right, so say you're switching surfers and you turn the boat off in between surfers. You want to turn the key back to a little quarter turn to the other way so everything stays on. And then, as you can see, the cruise control will turn off. So when you start the boat again, it's not gonna come back on automatically. So each time that you turn the boat off and turn it back on, you gotta turn the cruise control back on. The rope goes on this pole right here, not the light. Goes on this right here. And the best way to tie it up is to take a little bite, just like this, and loop that around. So that self-tightens. While surfing, it helps the wave a lot to have the weight distribution equal in the boat, left and right side, or favored to the side that the person is surfing on. So Sully is going to be surfing on the left, so I had my mom and the dog move over to the left side of the boat to help the wave be a little cleaner. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate how to turn the boat around. So my friend Sully is surfing, and I'm going to see that he falls, and he's on the left side. So I give a little turn to the right, and then cut the engine. This lets the boat turn around on its own and not have to roll over any massive waves. So we'll watch that again one more time. Turn to the right a little bit, cut the engine, and let it turn itself around. All right, so now that we just got done with the surf session, we're gonna empty all the ballast before we go back to the dock. So to do that, you do 2 clicks on each of them so that the second light is on. And then you just let them drain. They'll drain out the sides and the back, and then you just let them go until they're done. All right, now that the ballasts are done emptying for the most part, then go ahead and turn all these off. So 1 click just turns them on to no lights, which means nothing's coming in or out. And then to park, you want to go slow, but it's important to remember that the boat will not turn if it's not in gear. So you see right here, I'm turning the wheel left, turning it left now, turning it right, and it's not steering. It's because I'm in neutral. But if I go into gear, it'll turn. And I like to just do little bumps with this guy right here, just forward and into reverse, so that it'll keep steering but not gaining too much speed. Just little adjustments, nothing major. It's good to have a friend with you who can catch the white posts in the front. It'll beep because the water is shallow. And then I like to, right when we're about to get in, I like to just do a little tiny bump into reverse. Nothing too major, it just kind of helps it slow down and guide itself in. And then when you're in, you can go ahead and turn off the engine. We're going to want to pull the boat in until these back cleats right here, silver thing, is even with the white post on both sides. And then crank this to the right, raise it up. It should catch pretty soon. And there it is, it's caught. So they can take all the stuff out and could leave it, you know, pretty low if you're just gonna take it out later that day. And if it's later at night, you probably want to raise it up out of the water. And then once again, we want the back cleat there lined up with this white pole on both sides. An easy way to check is to make sure if there's, you know, that line between the seats right here runs straight across, so you got something to line it up to. It's also important to remember to turn off the battery after each time using the boat.